Hey y'all, and welcome back to a new video of a game that I played a little bit ago. Where yeah, you saw the title and thumbnail. Let's just get into it. My opponent starts off the game with e4. I start off with c6, the Caro-Kann, very normal structure. My opponent goes knight f3. I go d5, edcd. Been played a million times before. d4, and we transpose into an exchange variation of the Caro-Kann. Where white is going to trying to play c3, like bishop d3 are lines. There's a million lines here. I'm not going to get into all that theory. I go knight c6, bishop d3, bishop g4. Bishop g4 threatens to take the knight. Queen takes and take this pawn. That threat sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't, but in this position it is a threat. My opponent goes c3. I go knight f6. C3 just seeks to defend the pawn. Knight f6, bishop h4, h5. All has been played a million times before. Castles, e6. Also not a move that really needs much explaining. Rook e1, and I decided here to play a little bit more passively and more defensively. I go bishop e7. I should have been more active with bishop d6. The reason why I didn't go for this is because of bishop g5 ideas. And I never like these pins. This pin is really annoying in these lines, and I just don't want to get into that. If I play h6, which is what the computer is telling me to do, in g5 or something, yeah, I can understand why this position is good, but then my bishop is not going to be able to come back and trade for this light squared bishop, and it gets annoying because if my bishop isn't able to come back, I'm probably going to have to trade it for this. And he's starting that move. So if I go a6 then g4 and I'm just losing, I'm losing a pawn here, like this. And I just don't like these pinning ideas, so I just don't go for them. And instead I go bishop e7, pretty normal stuff. Bishop f4, and I castle, of course. If my opponent is to play queen c2 in this position, this is a little technical. And if queen c2 happens, first of all bishop f3. But if let's say g4, bishop g6, now queen c2, then I'm doing quite well because my light square bishop is going to be traded. There's no attack with queen c2, and actually in this position is knight e4. I'm not the best examples today, but either way, my opponent goes knight bd2, defending the knight. I go bishop g6. This is a move you want to trade off the light squared bishop, and sometimes you want to do it prematurely. My opponent could decide to go knight f1, a move I don't really understand. I don't really think this move was quite good, and I decided to immediately exploit it because another idea of knight bd2 was that he's defending the e4 square, and now that knight is gone, I'm gonna put a knight on e4. All right, very logical stuff. Very logical stuff. If he takes my knight, I could probably take out with either, probably bishop takes is better. Yeah, bishop takes is better here, but DE is still aligned. Bishop takes is better, and I'm in my position is quite good. At the very least, I have a bishop pair, right? So that's minimal, and I'm doing quite well. And if he comes back to b2, I just win the game after I was gonna say knight f2, but actually knight c3 is better since the bishop is undefended. Either way, knight g3. Okay. I go with this move f5. This is pretty nice. I'm just really solidifying my knight in there, and he can't really do anything about it, so I thought that was pretty cool. He goes knight back to d2. Not a move I like because he's not threatening anything. Oh, he's technically threatening this move f3, and he wants to win a pawn, but that's not really a big threat. And I decided to just immediately hinder that with the move bishop h4, right? And now after f3 just hangs a piece, right? f3, I take the knight. So that's why this game, I already thought I had an advantage here, and I was kind of right, kind of not. It was equal, but knight df1 kind of increased the advantage exponentially because I play this move a6. First of all, I'm trying to make a million plans at the same time. Not the best strategy, but the idea of a6, I want to go b5 and b4. I want to go here, and I want to weaken this pawn, and I want to get a really nice game. That's kind of my idea, and it's it's an interesting idea. That's the point of a6. My opponent goes f3. Okay, I drop my knight back. I thought this was a natural square for my knight. I want to defend this pawn, right? And I want to keep everything together. Actually, the move e5 is what has to happen. And here I'm actually just better after DE and knight c5, which is kind of insane, but I mean, I'm not the engine. Engine is a little bit of a scumbag. So knight g5. My opponent goes king h2. I go rook e8. I mean, I want to defend my pawn. I thought that was natural. Oh, and if you thought, oh, he can take my knight and then win the pawn, he can't. After this, I take back with the queen, and I'm attacking this knight, which is pinned over here, and I'm just gonna win the game. Right. So here now he has the threat, so I'm gonna play rook e8. My opponent goes here, targeting my pawn, but I thought this kind of like worked into my plan of b5 before, and I was a little unsure of what this move was trying to accomplish, because this kind of like went head first into my plan, and I thought it was just better, right? So a4, I go b4. This is my whole plan, my whole idea. You can't really take because then he weakens the center too much. My opponent goes here. Okay, I decided to take on c3. Not the best line. My idea was that after like queen c3, I would play like rook c8, and I thought I was like better there. I'm not. Rook c8 actually, well, actually no, rook c8 would be bad. I would play something else. I don't know, like queen d7 or something, just defending the knight. But my opponent decides to go queen a4, trying to like make some counterplay. I take here first because I'm attacking the rook, and now I'm up 2 pawns. I mean, rook a b1. I take here. I'm up 3 pawns for a second. The position is -1, and I've already kind of won this game. Like I don't really see what my opponent's gonna do. Technically, he has one piece that's better than my pieces. Like the bishop on d3 is very strong. Bishop on d3 is very strong, but I'm just gonna trade it off. I might lose a pawn to trade it off, but like after takes, I go knight c5, and I decide that after I want to trade off the bishop, and I want to just have an advantage for the rest of the game. And I'm already just much better here. So I play queen d7. That was normal. I wanted to stop this rook infiltration. I want to defend this pawn prematurely. Rook here. Rook e8. Thought this was better than rook ac8 because this pawn is hanging, of course, and that's pretty decent. Queen back. I come here, attacking that pawn. He comes in here, but this just allows me to take. It's actually, I kind of lost a lot of my advantage here after like a move like knight e2, which is kind of insane. But here, I take the pawn, and my opponent blunders just a bishop, and now he didn't want to trade queens, obviously. If he trades queens, like the game is over. But he just was so afraid of that he just blundered a bishop, and I'm completely winning the game. There's nothing that he can do, and I'm just gonna win. Like what is the big idea here? I'm just gonna win. You have a knight that's under fire. There's nothing that you can do. But the video is called what it is because of what happens very soon. What happens very soon? Queen b2. I go queen d4. I'm offering a queen trade. I just want a queen trade. I don't want to do anything, and I don't want to do anything rash. Queen b3. Okay, I'm gonna play this move f4, which I thought was natural. Attacking the knight, and I get my pieces in. Knight e2 hits the queen. I offer a queen trade again. Queen goes back to b2, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm also attacking this rook, right? Yeah, I'm attacking that rook, right? Because my bishop also defends it, so I'll take the rook. Yeah, and that's all I have for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys found this entertaining, instructive, all of the above. If you did, remember to hit like and subscribe to all the normal things YouTubers tell you to do. And yeah, good evening and good night.